Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team. We have a lot to talk about tonight in this extended weather update here on 11 Alive Plus and Weather Impact 24/7. And the first thing that I want to dive into is this. And this is a potential tropical system that is expected to develop in the Gulf as we go through the rest of this week. Now I'm going to put this up full screen for you so you can get a better look there at what we're watching. And about a week and a half ago, I posted on social media that from an image from the Climate Prediction Center, which was just kind of showing an area in the Gulf of Mexico that we really needed to watch over the next 2 weeks. And again, that was posted about a week and a half ago. Now, the National Hurricane Center started yesterday also highlighting an area in the Gulf that we need to watch for the potential for some tropical development. Now, what's interesting is a lot of times when we see things in the Gulf, it'll be coming out of the Caribbean and either moving this direction or curving back around this way. What is happening right now is that we have a system that's off the eastern coast of Florida in this X right here. This is in the Atlantic, but this is expected, instead of moving up this way and curving around or going back out to sea, this is moving toward the Florida Peninsula and will be interacting with land for a while. But it's when this moves westward into the Gulf, that's where we think that this will have a little better chance to develop potentially into some sort of tropical system, whether or not it is a tropical depression or a tropical storm, or if it stays in the Gulf long enough, it could gain some strength and potentially even become a hurricane. As of right now, the National Hurricane Center is giving this a 30 to 40% chance of development over the next 2 to 7 days. And what we'll have to watch for any potential tracks, let's say that as this moves across the peninsula into the Gulf here, if it moves, doesn't stay over land very long and it moves up in this direction toward either the Florida Panhandle or into parts of South Alabama, it would most likely potentially be a tropical depression for a brief period. If it hangs out over water even more and maybe moves over Louisiana, it may have time to become a tropical storm and get a name. And the next name on the list is Dexter. And then the other possibility is if it hangs out even longer in the Gulf and moves over toward western Louisiana or even over into Texas, it could be there long enough to actually gain enough strength to become a hurricane. So there are a lot of scenarios right now, and I've been posting these updates on my social media. And a lot of people are saying, well, what about, next week if I go to St. Augustine, or what about if I go to Panama City? We don't know all of the impacts yet from the system because it hasn't even crossed over the Florida Peninsula yet, and we'll have to wait and see if it generates and gets stronger once it moves into the Gulf. The one thing that we feel pretty confident about, though, is that along the entire coast of the Gulf there, we are most likely going to see a lot of rain, even from, let's say, down here south of Fort Myers, here again on the Gulf side here, the Gulf Coast, the entire coastal peninsula of Florida here on the Gulf side or on the west side, up into the Florida Panhandle here, South Alabama, southern Mississippi, and into Louisiana, where you see a lot of the reds and oranges. That's talking about potentially 3 to 5 plus inches of rain in those areas. And this is just based on what we're seeing right now. We're going to really be able to fine tune these projections and impacts more once the system crosses over land and moves into the Gulf, and then gives us some opportunities to see how it is going to be developing there. So just know we don't have all the answers yet. We're just letting you know that we're monitoring this system, and we want you to keep an eye on it as well if you have any interest there along the Gulf Coast region. So we're going to keep watching that for you. Again, this is a look at the potential rainfall there along the Gulf Coast. But what we'll have to watch there is with the flow around that. What's interesting is that could be flowing, picking up flow from this direction, and it could butt up against the mountains, which causes orographic lift and adds extra lift there with a lot of moisture. And we could see some impressive rainfall amounts from the mountains depending on how this system is going to be developing. So we have a lot to watch with it over the next few days here. It is really going to be a slow process for that to develop, but we, of course, will be watching it very closely for you and have much more for you here from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team. And we are also going to be watching the heat and humidity and the potential for any scattered showers that we're going to be watching out there as well. Take a look at this today. We hit 97 degrees today. That was 1 degree away from tying a record. The record for today's date, 98, that was set in 1954 and also 1938. The average high for this time of year is 90, so we were 7 degrees above the average, and we missed tying a record by only 1 degree. Yes, very hot out there. And of course, a lot of folks are at Truist Park for the All-Star Home Run Derby that's taking place there right now. You can see a lot of fans there. I was out live on the Battery earlier today for our 4, 5, and 6 o'clock shows. Let me tell you, it was hot. There were a lot of people there, though, to be really excited, and knowing that these temperatures may trend down just a little bit going into the evening hours. So a fun night there at Truist. Now, tomorrow is the actual All-Star game on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. And we're expecting temperatures at the start of the game, or really before the game at 7, to be around 88 degrees. Oh, sorry, we kind of lost that for you there. But there is a potential for some showers tomorrow, and I'm going to break that down for you coming up in just a little bit. It's about a 30 to 40% chance for some isolated showers, but again, it just depends on where these things decide to pop up. If they're over Truist or if they're 2 blocks away. We're just going to have to be tracking that very closely during the day tomorrow. Then, through the rest of the evening hours tomorrow, rain chances pretty much go away, and the temperatures hold in the 80s there throughout the game on your Tuesday night. Live look right now at radar. Things are good here tonight. We tracked just a few isolated showers in West Georgia and Northwest Georgia a little bit earlier today. And as you can see, we just had a few little blips here and there. There's one that developed there in parts of Bartow County, drifted down to the south, kind of clipped a little bit of Polk County, and then fell apart going into areas of Paulding County. That's really all that we had. We also have a few showers. I'll get a little bit closer to these down in parts of eastern Georgia, from Augusta, where we have some heavy rain and thunder and lightning there, moving down toward Wadley, Georgia, a little bit closer to Swainsboro. That's just kind of a little area of rain that's drifting down toward the south, and that's not going to have any impact on us. It's pretty much staying to the east of Thompson, although there have been a few little lightning strikes there south of Thompson earlier with a few storms there, but that should begin to diminish somewhat. And here again is a look. This is a loop that goes back 6 hours, and you can see some of those showers we had earlier in parts of Northwest Georgia. That's what I was talking about here just a little while ago, but those have all fallen apart now. And through the rest of the nighttime hours, it is going to be a quiet night weather-wise, but just staying mild with temperatures by tomorrow morning that are going to be on the mild side, going down into those lower 70s and feeling kind of muggy too. So there's nothing really major moving our way. We are just still in this air mass that is hot and humid, and occasionally we'll have some of these showers and a couple of thunderstorms that could bubble up out there. So that's what we're going to be keeping an eye on as we go through the next couple of days. Here's another live view, our tower cam there at Truist Park. Just a hot night, but at least it is a dry night at Truist for the Home Run Derby. And then here's a view. This is from our tower cam there in Decatur, looking over toward the west. Beautiful view of our city and the sun setting in the background. Now, it went down around 8:50, but you can still see some of that light there on the horizon. And this is another view, our other vantage point that we have from Arizona Avenue in DeKalb County, looking over toward the west. And again, seeing the beautiful colors there on the horizon with just a few of those clouds mixing in with that sunshine as it has gone down. Here's that temperature I mentioned a few minutes ago. 97 was the high. You see it here, the record 98 degrees. That was set in 1938. 1 degree away from that. Low this morning, 75. That's a very mild way to start the day. We would normally start around 72 for this time of year. And our rainfall deficit growing a little bit. We're almost 3/4 of an inch below where we should be in rainfall. So whenever we get some of these scattered showers moving in, we need to have them land over Hartsfield, Jackson, so that would help us out with our official rainfall totals. Got down to 75. That was that mild temperature at 7 o'clock this morning. And then by 8 o'clock, we were 78, 79 at 9, well into the 80s at 10, and then topping off there in the afternoon. The highest you see here was at 3 o'clock at 95. But in between these hourlies here, we did bump up to 97 for our high today. And now we're back into the upper 80s here in the 9 o'clock hour. Look at these temperatures. 88 here in Atlanta. 82 in Covington, 85 in Athens, Marietta 87, Duluth is 87. We have 77 though in Clayton, feeling pretty good there. Carrollton checking in right now at 79 degrees. So here's what to expect during the day tomorrow. It'll be that mild start again, mid-70s, 75 degrees, getting up into those 90s here tomorrow, maybe a couple of degrees lower than we were today, and a 30 to 40% chance for some isolated showers in the afternoon hours. I don't think it'd be anything widespread, but again, we'll be watching into those early evening hours as well for that potential maybe for an isolated shower to pop up, and we'll have to see if that happens to develop over Truist Park. In fact, take a look at this tonight. You can see the dry conditions overnight. In the morning, it is going to be another dry start here for us, and then at lunchtime we're dry. But watch after lunch, this is when we just see a few showers developing, and this model is showing those developing pretty much right over the city through the late afternoon hours. Truist is right up here. We're thinking by 5 o'clock, everything should be kind of gone from there, if anything is even near Truist at all. And then Wednesday, things are looking, partly cloudy in the morning hours, and then by the afternoon, we see not a lot of rain developing, another 20 to 30% chance for a shower for your Wednesday. So I think tomorrow the rain chance ticks up just a little bit. Then on Wednesday it comes down just a little bit. And then going into next week, or the end of the week and into the weekend, we'll watch those rain chances come back up just a little bit. This takes us through Thursday night, where you can see mainly dry conditions here. So there's the 30% tomorrow, 20% Wednesday, 30 Thursday, 40 Friday, and then 50% chance for showers here for your Saturday. And look at these temperatures too. Another day in the mid-90s tomorrow, then 94 Wednesday, 92 Friday, back to 93 on Saturday. So really staying a little bit above the average, continuing here for the next few days. So here is a look at that 7-day outlook with those rain chances there. 30% Tuesday, 20% on Wednesday, 30% Thursday, 40% Friday, 50% on Saturday, and then trending down for your Sunday and Monday. And then look at the temperatures too. Mid-90s Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we'll see around 93 Thursday, 92 Friday, back to 93 Saturday and Sunday, and then 94 on Monday. So remember, the average high for this time of year is right at 90 degrees. So looking at all of these temperatures here, it is going to be a very mild and hot next few days as we continue through the period. I want to show you again our rainfall comparison here in the metro area, where even though you saw a lot of raindrops there on the 7-day outlook, the rainfall totals are not going to be that impressive. It just depends on where these showers decide to set up. And these are just some averages here. The American model is showing a better chance in far north Georgia of some of those higher amounts. That has to do, again, potentially with that system that could be developing in the Gulf of Mexico, and the flow around that might pick up a little more what we call orographic lift there over the mountains and could enhance the rainfall there. The European model showing some higher amounts up there, but not as high as what the American model is showing. And then for here in the metro area, generally around a ½ inch of rain possible. Both models are indicating that over the next 7 days. So really that's not a lot of rain, even though you saw a lot of raindrops there on the 7-day outlook, because we'll be dealing with, again, that potential for whether or not we're going to get the tropical moisture in our area. Here is another map that I want to show you, and I'm going to just walk you through this. This is our moisture map where you see the yellows and oranges. That's where you're getting more moisture here, and we have some of that moisture in our area. But let me show you what we're going to be watching in the Gulf, and I'm just going to walk through this manually. Let me take that zoom out of that so we can show you those areas to the south there in the Gulf that we're going to be watching there. And I'm just going to manually go through this. And what I want you to notice, that right there, okay? This is what we're talking about, that system in the Atlantic moving across the Florida Peninsula and then into the Gulf. So that's a lot of that rich tropical moisture there over the Florida Peninsula. And so that's Tuesday afternoon. Then potentially there late Tuesday into Wednesday, moving there through the Gulf. Now, whether or not it's centered here or centered down here, we don't know yet, but this is just what I want you to see, all of that rich tropical moisture there that's going to be in the Gulf and along the Gulf Coast region. So those are the areas that we're going to have to watch for any for a lot of rain that could potentially be moving through. And then by Friday, maybe lifting back up through parts of Louisiana, Texas, and also into Mississippi. So a lot to watch, a lot of answers to the questions that we just don't know yet, but we'll keep you posted through the week. So thank you for watching this extended weather update here on 11 Alive Plus and Weather Impact 24/7. We'll have more updates for you throughout the day tomorrow as well. So we hope you have a good night.